Hello, hello. It's been a while, but I am back with the knit along, and I have gone through, and I actually have squares done for 3 weeks worth of squares, or charts I should say, because I am way behind. In fact, I think that I've only done through square 21, and I haven't done any of my June squares, and it's now July. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 squares to catch up on. But anyway, we're gonna get started on one today. We're gonna go back and look at my June temperatures here way back on, I believe this was June 1st. Yeah, June 1st, and it was 77 degrees, which means if we go look at my temperature guide over here, I need Blue Moon, and I'm actually, there's my US 3 needles. I'm actually breaking into a new ball of Blue Moon. So this is what I have left. I'm going to start with this, and then I will probably be breaking into my new ball of Blue Moon so I can do a whole bunch of squares, because I actually have 2 Blue Moon squares coming up, and then we went up to 95, which anything above 90 is Minty Fresh, which is this guy. So anyway, we're gonna get started looking at what kind of fun squares I have to show you. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna work on all these squares, and hopefully I can get a little bit caught up. So let's take a look at what we're doing for week 22 of the square knit along. And don't forget, I will be posting these charts. If anybody is actually following along with this, send me an email or leave a comment so that I can get in touch with you and send you the charts so that you can play with them if you want to. So anyway, let's get started. Right, so we know that we are going to be using Blue Moon because that was the color for highs in the 70s. And Wednesday, my 22nd week, was a high of 77. So that means that we are still in Blue Moon. And I went ahead and found this really cute little PK stitch. So I have cast on my 32 stitches here with my Blue Moon in my Mian cotton on my size US 3. Oh, it's hard to read that upside down. There we go. US 3 3.25 millimeter needles. And I'm using signatures because that's what I like and what I have, so I'm going to use those. And this is a really simple pattern. So for row 1, you're just going to slip and then literally knit all the way across. And in fact, all of your right side rows are just going to be a knit row. The only patterning happens on your wrong side row, and that is where we get these, what will end up being rectangles of stitches. So you'll have rectangles of stockinette and rectangles of garter stitch. And I just thought it was kind of a cute pattern. And you all know how much I love my knit and purl patterning. So I am going ahead and doing my next square in this super cute little PK stitch. Let's see, almost through my first row. So there we go. I slipped my first stitch because, again, I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier to put my squares together. And gosh, my tail's too long. There we go. So there we go. There's my first stitch. I've just slipped the first one, knit all the way across, and then the only patterning, and you already know how to do this because you know how to do knits and purls. And we've talked about reading our pattern, right? So I cast on my 32 stitches. I went ahead and did my first row because it's just basically slip one, knit all the way across. And I'll be repeating my stitches between my parentheses if you're doing the written version, or the red lines if you're doing the chart, 5 times. And then I think I'm going to repeat the entire chart 2 times, but I'm not entirely sure. This is always the part that is a little bit wiggly because, remember, we are trying to knit until our squares are square. So that's really the key piece of this, is making sure that your squares are square, and that's all that really matters. So I'm going to slip 1, knit 1, 2, because remember, on the back side we do the opposite of whatever it says. So if this would have been a purl on the right side, it's a knit on the wrong side. And the same thing for these knit stitches, because they would be a knit if this was the right side, but we're on the wrong side. This needs to be a purl. So purl 4. And then we're just going to repeat that. So I'm going to knit 2, and then remember, I do a Portuguese purl. 1, 2, 3, and 4, knit 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, knit 2, and purl 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then knit 2, purl 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this last stitch here I'm going to end up with 1 extra purl stitch, because remember, that's the stitch that we slip on the end. And that's kind of it. It's just knits and purls. So because this isn't a really involved pattern, I'm just going to take my 2 little rows here, and you can already see it starting to stack up. And I'm going to go finish my square, and then we'll come back and talk about how many repeats I actually had to do, and I'll show you what it looks like in the end. Hello, clearly it is a second day, but I am back with my finished PK stitch square, and I have to say I did run out of yarn like midway through my block, as I anticipated. I did go ahead and knit across and add yarn in the middle of my row. Usually people say not to do that, but honestly, this is a blanket square. I don't care. So to each their own. Make your own decision on that. But anyway, so PK square is all done. It did take me 2 full repeats of the chart. So if you remember my chart, this was my chart right here. It took me 2 full repeats of my chart, just like I thought it would, in order to make a nice square. So there we are. That's my Blue Moon for square 22, episode 22. So now that I'm caught up there, we are going to switch over to the next episode. So I will see you guys next time. And we're going to get caught up on all of our squares now. We're going to get caught up on all of them. So please take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and craftually, as I like to say. And make sure that you're doing that 15 minutes of crafting every day. These little squares are really nice, I have to say, because they definitely, when I have the charts done, they're a lovely little break. They don't take very long, and I can just crank these right out. And if I want to, I can have a little more challenging square. And if I don't want a challenging square, I don't have to knit one. So that's really nice. So anyway, please remember to like, comment, subscribe on the videos that we're doing. Make sure that you have followed us on Facebook, Instagram, our newsletter, TikTok, all those fun places. And I will see you for the next episode. Bye.